Thank you.
Not yet, I will tell you.
Just advise me when to start. That's it.
No, not start, no start. You can start soon.
Shall I?
Yes, you are live.
Good evening, friends. I take the privilege to be a trainer resource person for the training session by the Training and Learning Development Department of the International Internship University. Would like to introduce about the International Internship University, which is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for a quality training program and is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a very short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in around 195 countries and 6 continents under a strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to the students from various social and cultural backgrounds. I hope this is in a nutshell about, say, for example, Mr. Piyush Pandit and IIU. Now, I would like to share the screen about the privilege which I'm given for to live a session named Servant Leadership. Ma'am, this is not happening as of now.
Please here, go to this arrow down on share screen and push there, and you can share your presentation. At share screen. Grace here is visible. You can
Is it okay?
Is this perfect? Great. Great.
Yeah. Friends, Friends, inconvenience regretted regarding a bit late, putting up the screen or sharing the screen. Servant leadership is dedicated to different conceptualization. It is towards building community-based leadership. It has its own foresight. Here in servant leadership, people feel that this is something, a different sort of a leadership. Because herein, the leader shares his own views or his perspectives to the community or the team he has already built up. Into this context, a major part as a servant leader is nothing but empathetic and listening. Obviously, awareness is a part of empathy. Awareness is a part of entire leadership. Now, let us understand the difference between the traditional leader and the servant leader. See, it is very well mentioned. Traditional leader sees leadership as a rank to obtain, which is, I think, differently working in the organization as of now. Now, if you look at servant leader, he sees leadership as an opportunity to serve others. I think we have gone through this leadership model. Traditional has got a triangle apex at the top and baseline at the bottom, whereas servant leader has a different upside down model, which is apex at the bottom and baseline at the top. Here, as we see, traditional leader uses power and control to drive the performance. He feels that he's performing and his team should also perform. However, on the other side, if you look at servant leader shares power and control to drive engagements. Traditional leader never goes with any sort of, sharing or requesting the, opinions from his team members. Whereas servant leader always and always request his team to give their opinion first. Traditional leader measures success through outcome. Everybody is going to perform, but he's worried that what will be the outcome at the end of the day. However, whereas servant leader measures success through growth and development. Exactly, both the sides are opposite sides of the coin. Traditional leader just speaks, as we went through earlier. He never give us or request the opinion from the team members, whereas he just listens. Now, traditional leader believes it's about them. Believes it's me. He has got its own self-beliefs, self-understanding, self-respect. Whereas servant leader understand it's not about them. He always take care for the entire team. So friends, this is altogether the different aspect that a servant leader always, has an opinion from his team members. It is a lovable journey with the team because team feels the respect. Team feels we are respected. We are given some sort of, weightage, and hence the team appreciates his own leadership he always carries the team along with him. We'll look into the other pictures, other slides as well. Now see, here is on the right hand side, the servant leader is a servant first. Servant first means he just puts up an idea, gets an opinion, and crosses his borders, carrying his entirety. It begins with a natural feeling that one wants to serve as opposed to wanting power. He is not at all bothered about the power, neither position nor a rank we saw in the traditional leadership. However, his own vision or own motto accompanying the team influences fame or wealth. Now, on the left-hand side, if you look at, this is a company of trust and the service of the trust. I mean a team. So the entire linkages between the team and the leader, the services they are going to provide is nothing but is a trust developed team and trust developed service. 100% there is a sacrifice into this domain. I would say this servant leadership is a dedicated domain. Here it is not a simple love, but it is a spiritual and pure love. Dr. Kalam has mentioned, Abdul Kalam, 11th President of India, has mentioned nicely in one of his lectures at some of the gathering, the people who are spiritually pure can serve the society, and the people who serve the society are spiritually pure. So spiritually pure is nothing but a spiritual love among the team member and among the society, among state, among province, among nation. Obviously, because the word servant itself means ego removal. The servant itself, it doesn't have an ego, and he never, points out any sort of defects among his team members about his personality, individual personality, what I mean. As he's spiritually pure and his spiritual love and affectionate, equally he is carrying some spiritual emotions along with him. This is nothing but carrying the people, accompanying the people, team building. The center is nothing but spirituality. See, it is mentioned at the last corner, chanting the name of God. So friends, whatever happens, happens for the best. Whatever happens, happens in the team or a servant leader's growth. Whatever happens, happens with the wish of God. That is what he means here. So spirituality is nothing but a central part of servant leadership. We'll see further how this works out. See, we have put up some advantages. He has got a very, 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 very high moral. His confidential level is very high. His emotions levels are very high. He always engages through collaborations, not at all the competitions, friends. And these collaborations helps him to develop his own, team. And he never feels that he's an individual. He feels every team member is a leader, and that too a servant leader. And this particular leadership is based on very, very, very strong ethics and values, culture. And hence, if you look at the other way, it is not easy, or it is not, in a few of seconds. It works with a very consumable time. He never loses sight of goals. And herein, it is a self-motivation. As he himself is a self-inspired gentleman or a leader, people get inspiration from his own acts and behaviors, because he's having a strong ethics, as we have mentioned. So, friend, these are the advantages. Now, into this servant leadership, sometimes it is actually in the 4 quadrants. It is a habit. We look at all the 4 ones: unconscious and unskilled, conscious and unskilled, conscious and skilled, and unconscious and skilled. Now, this particular parameter, the one, which is the bolder one, unconscious and unskilled, people feel that education is very important. I do agree with everyone whosoever mentions that education is very important. But there are servant leaders or equable servant leaders who have delivered their best to the society, to the nation, to the state, to the province. So, but however, from unconsciousness, this unskilled becomes into a conscious because of dedicated spirituality. He carries this spirituality with all the 4 parameters we have mentioned. However, but he gets skilled and becomes conscious as he moves and carrying the spirit of his own team members. It is very well said, we rise by lifting others. This is the first and foremost formula you can say, or a tagline you can say, for a servant leader. As we discussed earlier, leadership and love. So leadership model and leadership and love model. Herein, in a triangle, as we said, having a baseline at the top and apex at the bottom. Authority. It is a traditional leadership parameter. However, if you look at here, all the 10 or maybe 9 parameters, they will not have any reflections on to traditional leadership model. So here, see, it starts with patience, kindness, humility, respectfulness, selflessness, forgiveness, honesty, commitment, and service and sacrifice. See, the service and sacrifice, leadership and love, it is in both ways, because until any of the service or any of the sacrifices is not, dedicated, you can say, any leadership can never be defined so far. Look at this picture. He's bridging the 2 ends, carrying his team accompanying with him. So it is forever. The servant leader is not at the top or, clubbing the people. The people are already there. The team is already there. He's just supporting them. So we'll be having a 5 takeaways from this particular session. We all know that management is not equivalent to the leadership. Yes. You all can put up into the chat box and the Facebook, whosoever agrees to this. Change the paradigms to serve the customer. Love is synonymous with leadership. You cannot change others. This is very, very important aspect of the servant leadership, but can create the environment for them to change. In traditional leadership, leaders, just focuses on his own visionary, goals. Whereas servant leadership is having all the opinions, small or big, large or small, little or major. He has an opinion from his team members. And leadership is a skill. It takes time and practice to build the habit. See, both are volunteering. He's a traditional leader, is also volunteering. The servant leader is also volunteering. But the change is tremendous in servant leadership because everybody of the team member is important to him. Everybody is responsible and self-inspired. Now everybody leads the team. What servant leader does is, it is not an hierarchy sort of. Everybody is a leader and everybody leads the team because it is interlinking between their thoughts, spirituality, love, and different processes what we are involved into. And everyone is a self-inspired in this servant leadership team. Now herein, value system is a backbone of this leadership format. As we saw earlier also, ethics, values, love, spirituality, patience, kindness, all are these values. They are not bothered about the failures, friends. They quickly analyze. Herein, as spiritual emotions are working, they keep emotions aside and quickly bring the ventures to the decent closures. Luck plays an important role in leadership journey in both ways, either a traditional leadership or a servant leadership. So it is a common goal. In any areas of operations, leaders benchmarks with best practices and creates next practices. This is very important. Next practices means whatever we are practicing as of now, but a servant leader who is really, clubbing the team and carrying the team, accompanying with them, has got the vision of future also. Walking the talk. People sometimes, they just talk, they don't walk. And servant leader specifically walks the talk. And practices percepts is what makes a leader trustworthy in the eyes of his team members. As we told you, it is interlocking or inter-arrangement, or it is interdependency between the team members and the servant leader. Sustaining the enthusiasm. It needs a sustenance. We did today, not tomorrow. We are inspired today, motivated today, not tomorrow. Sorry. Sustainable model of enthusiasm and confidence building of the team of several members lasting for years, not days, weeks, months, but years. As, for example, I am quoting here, Narayan Murthy is one of them, and Mr. A.M. Nayak, who I think retired as the chairman from L&T. Now you look at A.M. Nayak, sir, I have come to know from Mr. Gautam Adani's, one of the lecture, Aim Naisai at the age of 47 years, the length of service with L&T was 37 years, hadn't gone with the 37 days of leave, any leave sort of. So dedication, discipline, and determination. These are also the three parameters of servant leadership. Leader has to work hardest, undergoing biggest sacrifice. We have already gone through this. Welcomes ideas and opinion. This also being discussed so far. Buck must stop at his table for every major decision. The spelling mistake, sorry. Buck must stop at this table for every major decision. There is no bug as such, because he's accompanying his own team. He believes in competence and sound value system. The first word of this particular bullet is a value system, and sound value system accompanying abundant patience. It's not a small patience or a little patience, or he's hurrying. No, he takes his own time frame for decision making, because he's having the entire cluster of the team who helps him to carry these decisions with the value-based system. I would like to narrate about a tale of two boys who were almost at the pinnacle of their servant leadership. Because, as I told you, education, no education, unconscious, unskilled, these are all the parameters coming. You'll be able to learn a lot much because of this, a tale of two boys. One is a boatman boy, I think, which is named as Rameshwaram. I hope you can put it in the chat box what is his good name, in case somebody is recollecting, because this particular Rameshwaram has become a remarkable place for this little boy, boatman's boy. And the other is a farmer's boy. He's from Chansad, a village near Baroda in Gujarat, India. So how these two boys became servant leader, slowly and slowly this journey will take us about their understanding. Both had some, equal qualities or same qualities. This is also amazing part, right? Because it is a tale of two boys. One is from South, one is from Gujarat, and having the similar qualities. Let us see what qualities they have. Both were studious. They wanted to go for a beautiful education, both of them. They were very quiet. As we have mentioned in the servant leadership parameter, servant leaders are very kind enough, quiet enough. And they are shying also. Both of them are shying. The nature is a shying nature, quiet nature, studious. As we learned earlier, spirituality is a core theme of servant leadership. So both are spiritual. Both used to speak very little, but what they speak, they used to speak concrete. Their delivery was always a concrete delivery, not an haphazard or something. They are very hardworking. These are the common 6 qualities which have been defined in A Tale of Two Boys. One who was in Rameshwaram always used to look at the flying birds because he wanted to go for the flying. He was wishing to fly. He wanted to become a pilot. And the second boy always used to believe in praying God, in the spirituality, religion, peace, harmony, lot many parameters which a spiritual leader has. Ultimately, he wanted to fly from Rameshwar. And the boy from Chansad, Gujarat wanted to just pray for the God and preach about the God, go to the temples, do rituals, etc., etc. So the boy from Rameshwaram left home for further studies and became the first engineer from his village. And the boy from Chansad left home for his life renunciation and became the first sadhu. We call it sage or a saint. And he renounced his boy, as we renounced his boy. Herein, engineer became a great scientist who gifted hovercraft, missiles, SLVs, and atomic energy under the kind leadership of their gurus called Dr. Vikram Sarabhai and Dr. Brahma Prakash. Whereas farmer's sons became a great spiritual master who spread the message to the world of peace, harmony, happiness, and spirituality with the blessings of his guru named Shastriji Maharaj and Yogiji Maharaj. Now herein, the person who could not become a pilot, but he became the 11th president of India, which is the largest democratic country, and chief of all the 3 defense services. On the other side, the sage or the saint, however, farmer's son could not complete his education. He became a 5th spiritual successor of world-renowned socio-spiritual organization called BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha and 1,200 temples across the globe and hospitals, schools, colleges, and hostels. So scientists left home to give direction to a nation. And farmers left home to join a family. We call it in Hindi called Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Whole world is his family. Herein, there was something missing and something fulfilling. So what was something missing and something fulfilling? We'll be looking at one of the videos.
You have no sound. You don't have sound here. It's not audible. The volume, please.
So friends, herein, if you look at, I mentioned Abdul Kalam never earned an academic doctorate through research, but had as many as 40 conferred doctorates. Universities were vying with each other to confer doctorates, including a few from abroad on him. But Abdul Kalam never flaunted his degrees. Dr. Kalam, almost having 40 plus PhD honorary degrees, wrote a book on a sadhu who was just with the schooling of 6th standard. Now, a revered saint of BAPS, this is a miracle among two servant leaders now, Both were servant leaders, both worked for the society, for the nation, thought of everything about the things which can be helpful to the nation. So final thought, it is in the book of Servant Leadership mentioned James C. Hunter. Our leader is someone who identifies and meets the legitimate needs, reasonable needs, legitimate needs of their people, and removes all barriers so they can serve to their customer. Customer means society. Customer doesn't mean it is a business partnership or something else, but it is between the society. So friends, herein we end up with our session. And my session is over as such. And it is a learning for me that 15 years spiritual journey of Abdul Kalam Sahab, accompanying a guru of almost 3 million devotees, which is called a BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha, it seems to be amazing. You just balance. On one side, I think it is mentioned in his book, which is in Transcendence, that prior he starts his thoughts for writing a book on a Hindu sage, he being a Muslim. He has consulted his elder brother, who is a padri in Rameshwaram, that I'm planning to write a book on a Hindu sage. Do you feel that it is the right action? So his brother has replied, I think, that let the world know communism we have made ourselves. Leader, they don't have any communism. Leaders are leader. And ultimately, he wrote this book. Mr. Arun Tiwari is the writer of the book. And ultimately, this ends up my session of servant leadership, mentioning about the great learning from both the servant leaders. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.